This is Hugh Lochore reporting for Gretchen on the 20th anniversary of her classic long format eventing series. I'm clearly not from the United States. I did my eventing in the UK, and Gretchen's trying to pull together some really old people that have competed in the long format. I've got one or two stories. I didn't compete in a huge amount of long formats, so probably people don't want to hear too much about my eventing career. But my story is about drama. It has drama involved in it because most of my eventing career involved drama. It wasn't all plain sailing. I went to Bramham as a 19-year-old, and I had a magnificent cross-country horse, but he was a nappy git, and he was very difficult to get into a start box. We had to walk him in, and I had to walk in and vault on sometimes. I had to get a friend to come alongside me with the horse in the warm-up arena and just walk, and I ducked into the start box, 3, 2, 1, and went. There were all sorts of different methods of getting my horse in the start box, but just going to a start box on my own was now impossible. So I was on roads and tracks, phase A, because it's a long format. It was what is now a 4-star long at Bramham, and roads and tracks I came to the end of the roads and tracks, and the start box for the steeplechase was right there. I didn't have any friends around me, and of course, what did Cockley Bet do? He spun around, napped. He saw the start box, didn't want to go in the start box, and I couldn't get to get anywhere near the start box. So my roads and tracks time ended. My steeplechase time was starting. So I went back up phase A and galloped. Split ass down and got through, and he was dodging from side to side. He got to the end of phase A, but I did manage to get him through the end of phase A into the start box at a pretty good canter, and then straight through I went and out the other side. Didn't know steeplechase had, God knows, 30, 40. I probably went around the steeplechase course at an incredibly dangerous pace and still got 20 or 30 time penalty. Got to cross country and got him in the start box in cross country, but he was pretty fired up, and I ended up. But that was the drama. Well, the rest of the drama was I had a crashing fall, knocked myself out, and the horse was out for the rest of the season. It was all a pretty bad day, but that's what happens in long format. You never know what's going to happen. Some of these young horses, especially when they get to the longer format, it changes them completely. I went my first. Okay, I'll go on to another one, will I? I went my first ever 3-day. I was 16, I was at Tweezledown in the CCI 1-star, which is now a 2-star. And Tweezledown is a sandy place, and it's run, the cross-country course is inside a real old-fashioned steeplechase course. So you do your steeplechase on an old-fashioned steeplechase course, and the fences are bloody big on the steeplechase course. So it was pretty scary. And then you come around, and I was on the cross-country course, and I was getting carted. I had a double fistful. The same horse as dumped me at Bramham. He was a world-class horse, I just wasn't a world-class jockey. And this was a few years earlier, and it was his first 3-day. So he got the bit, I think I was riding him in a rubber snaffle or something, because he was just so easy to ride cross-country. But this day he carted me. We'd done the steeplechase, and it goes right up to the top of the hill on this sandy piece of ground above the steeplechase track. And there was a leaf pit drop down the hill to a wedge. And then you had to sort of run on down the hill and turn right in a nice organised fashion onto the rest of the cross country. I didn't. I jumped the wedge, and I had a double handful, and he took me straight out through the string across the steeplechase course. Nearly took out a competitor going at 680 or whatever we did from the left-hand side. I went out across the steeplechase course, took out the railings on the other side of the steeplechase course. I did get him under control, took him back onto the cross-country course. This was serious yellow card territory, but we didn't have yellow cards back then, and probably nobody even watching other than the fence.
You are the reason.
And I got him back across, but I nearly caused other people some harm. Really bad idea. And how I didn't cause myself some harm at Tweezledown, I don't know. But we went on. We did Bramham, we did Blenheim, we did lots of cool, fun things. British Championships at Gatcombe, and it was a great experience for me. I was under the age of 20 by the time that horse retired, and we had a lot of fun. For another long format situation, I was in, we were in, Mum had taken me to Breda in France, and in Holland. And in Holland, they usually have quite a small little park. Breda was a small park. They've now since moved Breda to a new site, but back then It was a relatively small park, big enough for cross country, but not big enough for the roads and tracks. So they had you go over a motorway, a highway flyover, where they had cones on the road to stop the traffic running you over, and then down like this little bicycle path on the outside of a huge deep ditch, because Holland's full of these massive, great big ditches, for drainage ditches. And so you're going down this cycle path, down all the way down to the next flyover, and then you go over the top of the road with all the semis and things, traffic and things on the flyover, and then back into the park, so you finish your roads and tracks that way. Cindy Sims, I remember it. I haven't seen Cindy Sims since, and this was 1989, 1990, something like that. And she was out on roads and tracks, and there was a cyclist on said cycling path on the other side of the motorway, and her horse spooked. She fell off. It went into the ditch, ran up onto the motorway, and skedaddled down the hard shoulder on the motorway with traffic going at fully 75 miles an hour up and down the road, and this loose horse ran off down. I can't remember where it ended up, but they did end up catching it. It didn't end up as a complete disaster, but it was on the main highway. So that was a pretty dramatic story. There you go.